Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. So, I am reviewing Love is Blind season 7, episodes 4 through 6. And, crew, if I can be honest, I'm bored. I'm really bored. There's really nothing there, and the ones who have been bringing something, I'm a little embarrassed by, especially Leo, who is, let's just say I'm glad he's gone because at this point, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I don't think this is a really good episode. I mean, a season so far. I just don't. We got into a little, some little drama towards the end. But other than that, like I was dozing off a couple of times. And you guys let me know if you thoroughly enjoy this season. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know about that. So if I had to rate episodes 4 through 6, I would just say a C, a solid C. Just very, very average. So I'm gonna get started couple to couple, and typically I start with the ones that are just boring the hell out of me. So we have Monica and Steven. Child, I had to remember sometimes their names because I kept messing up. He gets down on one knee and asks for Monica's hand in marriage, and she says yes. They meet, and it was sweet, boring but sweet. And one thing that she kind of caught me on, something that she said before she met him, she says she can get the ick really easily when it comes to men, and she has dated some of the best looking men in the world, and she still can get that ick. So that tells me that she's a little fickle when it comes to men. So I don't know. Indeed, I'm so glad you're covering this show. Hey, Rochelle, let's talk about it, girl, because I feel bored, honey. I feel bored. But yeah, when she said that she gets that ick, I was just like, okay. So I'm gonna just talk about for every couple, we're gonna just talk about 4 through 6 as their, whole journey during these episodes. So when they get to Mexico, really there's nothing extra when it comes to Monica and Steven. Steven does want to talk about the Freaky Tales part of it, and he says that he's ready for the Freaky Tales part of it. And child, he said he got a Brazilian. Did y'all catch that? He said he got a full Brazilian. Okay. Okay. Now, mind you, we clearly see he definitely can have a full beard, full facial beard, full hair. I can't even imagine that man getting the full Brazilian, but he said it with confidence. But okay. So at this point, there really isn't anything extra when it comes to Monica and Steven. They're just kind of going through the motions so far, even in Mexico. So we'll have to see. But the fact that she made it seem like she gets that ick or she gets bored easily, we'll have to find out what's going on with them. Always hated both of them. Or you hated Monica and Steven. Yeah, they're just kind of a boring couple. And here's another boring couple. And maybe they're boring because they're truly there for the right reasons. And these conversations that they have, they would really only understand. And they really are the ones who only need to understand because it's their relationship. But another boring couple, child, they didn't really give anything either. Hell, I don't even remember. I know they didn't give anything. When they got to Mexico, they had their little fun. They had a good time. There's nothing that stands out. There was no drama. It just seems like they're kind of going through the motions with both of them. There isn't anything there when it comes to them. That's why I said this season so far is boring. This is definitely boring. And I hate the fact that two of the people that I think we're going to get the most drama from, they both got to be the thick girls. They got to be the plus size girls. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, nothing going on with them. I'll call her Colgate because she just has, I mean, she does have a beautiful smile, but nothing going on with them. Like, honestly, they didn't stand out at all when it came to my notes. So that just tells you there was nothing popping with them. They're just kind of going through the motions. They're both corny. They're both boring. So I'm going to move on. Now, Marissa and freaking, I don't know how to say his name, Ramsey, Ramesses. I call him Shabba-Doo. So I'm going to call him Shabba-Doo. And I'll explain to you guys why I called him Shabba-Doo the last review. But before she actually picks him, she's still talking to B. And, you know, again, I like their energy, but their energy is so identical to each other. So with that, she is fine with him until she ends up going into the room with Shabba-Doo, and she's asking the most superficial questions. Can you fix anything? Do you like Adam Sandler or do you like Will Ferrell? And I'm like, this is how you pick your forever, huh? If he can fix something, and if he likes Adam Sandler or Will Ferrell. And she was so annoyed that he said he likes both of them. Okay, that's how you pick your people. All right. Then she says her birthday is April 3rd, makes her an Aries, and she finds out that he's a Cancer. But she wants to know what his moon and his rising sign is. And he says, well, I'm a Cancer, Leo. So he is a Leo rising and a Leo moon. And baby, she loses her shit. She loses her mind. And it's like, oh my gosh, no, you did not just say that. Oh my gosh. And he's like, is that a good thing? She's like, it's a great thing. Oh my gosh, I have to go. Oh my gosh. So I guess between him knowing how to fix stuff and him being a Cancer Leo, she's in it to win it. And so at that point, she leaves. She tells the girls that, oh my gosh, he's a Cancer Leo. That is an absolutely amazing thing. And by that, she knows he's the one. So she goes back to B. And she says, look, we have great chemistry. We have a lot in common, but I just don't think it's romantic. And really, when you listen to both of her conversations with B and with Shabba-Doo, it sounds the same. I did not find Shabba-Doo to be more romantic than B. He just knows how to say mi amor, and he knows how to speak Spanish. I think he was speaking French and Spanish. So if she finds that to be romantic, fine. But listening to both conversations, I was like, it sounds like the same superficial shit on both sides. But she claims she just has more of a romantic connection. And B is so super cool and laid back like a man should be. And he's like, yo, cool. I totally get it. I wish you guys the best of luck. He was so mature about it. Love that about him. Wondering if this is the end for them, though. Especially when you know they have all of the cast come back and they meet up. So we'll see about that. But he was super chill. And with that, she goes back to Shabba-Doo and pretty much says that, you know, he's the one. And she gets engaged to him. Now, Shabba-Doo says that people have questioned his masculinity. Hell, I've questioned it. But whatever works. He's super, super metro. Like straight up, like I said, Prince metro. And I said before, I love Prince as a musician and an entertainer. Would never date a Prince though. Okay. And baby, that suit that he had on before he met Marissa was super tight. Do you hear me? It was a medium. I did not understand how he could even get his leg and his arms into that suit. So they end up meeting, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. He's so handsome. He's not an ugly guy at all. He's not. And you can tell he definitely takes care of himself. But at that point, he gets down on one knee, and I said his suit is about to literally like split. Like it's about to split between the crack of his ass. It's about to go. But I guess it didn't. He proposes or whatever. But one thing I noticed, unlike the other couples, when they first embraced, I believe it was just hugging and just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. They finally, right before they had to leave, they finally kissed. But yeah, she was just like, oh, this experiment works. This experiment works. He's so gorgeous. He's so gorgeous. Again, what about the qualities that you should look for in a husband? Haven't heard that yet, but I guess you feel like being a Cancer Leo is going to pay the bills. He's going to be a great father and all of that. Maybe that's what you think, but okay. So, with that though, they get to Mexico and we found out immediately they jump in each other's bones. They done have freaky tales. And not only did they not have freaky tales, like I think the first night, they done had it a couple of nights. So again, superficial stuff and now freaky tales is clouding your judgment. I don't know, y'all. Do y'all think Marissa and Shabba-Do was gonna work? Because literally they both have those hippie vibes, and in all of their hippie glory, they are just like legs open, legs to the moon. So I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna cloud their judgment, and there's something that's gonna happen. And I feel like both of them are just showing their representative right now, and we're really not seeing some warning signs, so to speak. So, with that being said, that's the end when it comes to them. Let's move on. You know, don't have much to say really about them. They actually, yeah. Besides the fact that Ashley A, I still don't know anything about her. I really don't. We don't know about her family dynamic. We don't know anything yet. I don't like that. She's too guarded for me to be on reality TV. We know so much about him. We don't know nothing about her, but they seem to be in it to win it. He's like, we are getting married, damn it. Like, it's official. It's going to happen. And she even says also, we are locked in. And honestly, I haven't seen any red flags yet. I haven't. So it makes me wonder, like, did they really go through this experiment and they're in it for the right reasons? Because I haven't seen any issues. I really haven't. They question, of course, like doing this experiment, how people will probably think how crazy they are, but they seem to be really devoted to each other. So we'll have to see if some fireworks happen in these next couple of episodes. But as of right now, nothing. I hope, if anything, if there are some fireworks, he's saying, why haven't you really told me about your personal life? Like, is there something you're hiding? We don't know anything. We don't know about siblings. We don't know about a mother and a father. Nothing about her. So let's move on. Oh, child. Y'all ready? So the whole fourth episode starts off with Leo's sorry ass working my last nerve, begging and somewhat even screaming and pleading when it comes to Hannah, saying, how dare her make her own decision on who she wants. And my whole thing is, like I told you guys the last review, you know dang on well he does not want her for the right reasons. I don't know who the heck is calling me, you guys. My apologies. So literally, he's not trying to, this whole situation isn't about because he really loves her. The situation is about, how dare you reject me before I reject you? I said that the last episode, the last review. I said this is not about him really loving her. It's about, I want to reject you first. I make the decision. You don't make the decision. I said that. And sure enough, that's what happens. But he's crying, he's begging. This girl, Hannah, is crying her ass off. And she's like, I'm just so confused. I don't know what to do. I can't take this right now. And he's like, would you marry me right now? Would you marry me right now? Would you at least think it over? She's like, yes, I have to think it over. I have to think it over. So literally she leaves. They claim they're going to sleep on it. She goes back to the women quarters and she tells the girls Leo wouldn't let her break up with him. It doesn't matter what Leo thinks. If you really wanted to break up with him, you would, especially if you knew that Nick was the man for you. Period. But again, I'm not really feeling Hannah either. She's a pick me. This is not about finding love. This is about trying to fill the void of her insecurities. That's what it's about. So at that point, Leo in front of Nick, which he's such a manipulator and a narcissist. Leo in front of Nick is saying how he's mixed up between Brittany and Hannah. But what's so crazy is he ends up mixing up their names. He was actually trying to talk about Hannah, but said Brittany. Even Nick had to laugh at him and his nonsense. But Nick said, look, oh, for sure, we're in love. Like, we confirmed our love to each other. So then the next day, Leo comes back to Hannah and apologizes for screaming at her and making her cry. And so Hannah's like, she's never felt that way before. And she hasn't cried like that, like in forever. She's so damn dramatic. And at that point, she tells him that the feelings that she has for Leo is so special. And the feelings for Nick are not the same. Those special feelings are not there for Nick. Interesting. How did y'all feel about that when she said that on national TV? I can't wait to the reunion when he actually sees that. So I'm thinking like, oh, that's all it took. That's all it took for you to sit up there and say, because he was begging that he wanted you to say, well, my feelings aren't really there for Nick. Then why did you say yes to him? Why did you say that Nick is your man? Why? Why waste his time if you're not feeling it? Pick me energy. So then at that point, when she says, the feelings aren't the same or whatever, what did I say? Leo sits up there and says, yeah, well, you know what? I don't want you, Hannah. We're not compatible. You need Nick, not me. I want Brittany. Brittany and I are meant to be. Oh, and by the way, can you put in a good word about me to Brittany? Oh, he's such a prick. And literally she was like, like Brittany is great. Brittany is great. And like, then she gets offensive. She gets her feelings hurt. She's like, yes, Nick is definitely mine. He is the one for me. Like, he's my person. You wasn't just saying that 2 minutes ago, but now that he's dissing you and rejecting you, now you're saying he's your person. And so at that point, she's like, yeah, like, I know Nick is for me. Yes, great. Nick is for me. And she was like, well, why did you do that all last night then? Why was you begging all last night? And I said, because he wanted to reject you first. You don't reject him. He rejects you. But honestly, if I can be honest, I think both Leo and Hannah deserve each other. They're both weird, in my opinion. And they both weren't there for genuine love, in my opinion, for the right reasons. But literally, when Hannah is trying to talk to him, you can tell Leo, he's fed up. And he's like, look, I don't want to talk about it. Like, this is kind of, null and void. Brittany's my person, bye. But of course, when Hannah leaves and she's upset because she feels like she got played, she tells Brittany everything. So Brittany is definitely like, oh my gosh, like, this man is trying to play me or have me as his second best. And you can already tell she don't come from a world where she's second to no one. So at that point, Nick does propose to Hannah. I just don't know if it's going to work, honestly. And even with the Mexico trip, I don't know if it's going to work. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But at this point, Leo, because I'm going to get to Leo and Brittany now and get it over with. Leo ends up going into the pod with Brittany and now claiming he's so in love with Brittany. And he writes a letter to Brittany, and it's truly like a roses are red, violets are blue type of low budget poem. And she's just like, he's like, well, first he says, I'm in love with you. He doesn't do the poem yet. He says, I'm in love with you. But she says, I'm going to read a letter that I wrote you. And she says, look, in other words, you're a piece of shit and our connection is tainted. And the girls are feeling like I'm settling for you. So yeah, like, she pretty much made it seem like she was done with him and that there was no way to move forward. But he says, I'm going to tell you I love you so much. because I know you like hearing it. Narcissistic as hell. I'm going to tell you how much I love you because I know you like hearing it. Then he gives that stupid ass poem, which was so stupid, so corny, so freaking junior high. And then after all of that, instead of her paying him in the dust and just being like, whatever, he gets down on one knee and asks for her hand in marriage, and her dumb ass says yes. Yep. She says yes. Yeah. So then when they meet, child, I was like, this is giving politician and his first lady. I don't know why, but their whole look was very like politician going to the political ball type of feel. But you know, of course, he was so happy that he saw Brittany, because you know Brittany is a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful girl, and he was so happy. And he even said after they left, he was like, "Oh my gosh, she's so effing hot." That's all he cared about. And I think he kind of knew, just based off of the things that she said, that she was one of those girls who was like picture perfect for him. And so, interesting enough, though, Brittany is like there, and she's not really feeling it. She's really not feeling the whole situation. She's just like, okay, I'm going through the motions. He's like, I love you. And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you that. I don't feel comfortable saying that because it just doesn't feel right. And then they sit there. He tries to hug her. He's trying to, give her his coat. And you can tell she's just like, okay, like, when is this scene going to be over? And scene, cut this shit. And at that point, she keeps saying, I'm not going to say I love you. And at first I was like, I guess I can respect that. But at the same time, you should have never said yes to him in the first place. When they finally separate, of course, he says she's effing hot. She goes in a confessional. She's like, something is just not registering in her brain. And I'm like, you know what, B? Seems like a lot of things don't register in your brain. Sorry, girl, but you definitely seem like an airhead. But she was like, something is not registering in her brain when it comes to this guy. And she realizes that she's made a big mistake. So what we see after they meet is they were not selected by production to go to Mexico. All right. They weren't selected by production. But they ended up going on their own trip to Miami. And like a week later, I think after that trip, they broke up. Good. I'm happy. Didn't want to see them anymore. Of course, we're going to see them later on, but didn't want to see them anymore. I would like to see Leo and his narcissistic, arrogant ass. I would like to see him when he does see Hannah. That would be quite interesting. But Hannah at this point can go as well. So with that being said, hey, Danielle, got to catch the replay because I haven't watched all the episodes yet. Dropped off that like, though. Thank you. Thank you. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. So, yeah. So with that being said, we're going to move on to Hannah and Nick. Nick proposes to Hannah, and honestly, I don't really want it to work out because I don't think that she is ready for a relationship. I just don't. And when Nick sees her, when they finally meet, it seemed like he was genuinely happy to see her. And he was like, I'm in love with you. Hannah, however, being so insecure, her eyes kind of wandered because Nick laughed when he saw her. And she almost kind of gave this look like, oh God, like, is he laughing because of how I look, or he doesn't like how I look? That's the look that she gave. And she also said right before they saw each other in a confessional that she was worried about how he would, look at her and if he would like her physical look. So she's just too damn insecure to be in a relationship. But Nick went all the way in. He proposed to her. He seemed like he was really into her. They end up getting to Mexico. And, red flags started happening. And one of the red flags, especially to her, as much as she claimed she didn't care, Nick talks about how he's a hot commodity in the pod. Was he a hot commodity in the pod? Was he talked about there? And how he wanted to see all the beautiful girls in the pod. So as much as he was like, not to, flirt with him, but I just want to meet the girls that I was, talking to in the pod the whole time. And she was like, I don't care. And I'm like, you do care. Child, yes, you do care. And yeah, to a certain extent, he shouldn't be caring if he was a hot commodity, or he shouldn't even care that he wants to see the other girls. But is that much of a red flag? I don't know, especially when you guys are so new to each other, but again, we see them and they're chilling on the beach or whatever. And Nick, for some reason, wanted to ride one of these ducks, these little, I don't know, what are mannequin ducks, I guess I can call it. He wanted to ride one of the ducks. And Hannah was like, I'm not riding the duck. That looks stupid. That looks crazy. Hannah didn't want to do it. So Nick decides to go ride a duck. And this woman, who's an older woman, and I don't think she can even really speak the English that well, she starts, she ends up going to Nick and she was like, oh, you're going to ride the duck? And literally, he was like, yeah, you want to ride with me? And so at that point, you see freaking Hannah. She was like, oh, my effing God. Like, she starts getting pissed. And I say, here come those insecurities. And even the lady, even though she could barely, talk in English, she said, oh, no, 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 don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Oh, no, don't be jealous, lady. Don't be jealous. And Nick is laughing it off. And the next thing you know, they do their little silly race on the ducks. And he gets back and the whole mood has changed. Baby, it is just a whole different situation. And at that point, she even says to a certain extent that he can't be trusted. And at that point, he even says maybe they should just end it now. He says something like that. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It was so awkward. And it all started because he was riding a stupid duck. Now, mind you, it could have been that the lady wanted to ride the duck because she saw there was a film crew there and she just wanted a little bit of camera time. But you literally took that as him disrespecting you. Do y'all feel like he was disrespecting her by doing that? I mean, they was right there in front of her. They wasn't doing nothing. But later on, when that awkward scene ends, Hannah claims when she was talking to Marissa that the woman called her a jealous bitch. She used the word bitch. Hannah used the word bitch. And I'm sorry, I don't remember hearing that. Did you guys hear it? And I was like, Hannah, are you lying and making stuff up in your head at this point? Like, are you one of those psycho girls who's that insecure? You start seeing things and hearing things that don't actually happen? Because I don't remember her saying bitch. She just said, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. I don't remember her saying bitch, but she claims the woman called her a jealous bitch and Nick started laughing at it. Now, if that happened and maybe they edited it out, Nick, come on now. Like, at the end of the day, I know you ain't got to be disrespectful to a woman, but you can say, she's not a bitch. That's my woman. Thank you for the race. Have a great night. But yeah, I don't remember hearing the word bitch. I really don't. And so literally, Hannah is really showing us who she is in front of our eyes as far as her immaturity and her being insecure. She really needs to grow the hell up, and she's irking the hell out of me. As far as I see it, she needs therapy. She doesn't need a relationship, and she really needs to work on herself. And so with that was pretty much it when it came to them. Last but not least, and I had to leave her for last. Oh my gosh. See, the last review, some of y'all was saying y'all didn't trust Tim. Tim ain't the one. Tim is not the problem. The problem is Alex, and she is irking the hell out of me. Irking the hell out of me. So literally, Tim gives Alex a bracelet that he bought for his middle sister, and it was really sweet. But Alex was all in, and he proposes to her, and he does this sweet letter thanking Alex's father for bringing Alex into this world. And of course, Alex is crying, but hell, Alex has cried almost every episode. And so when they meet, she also worried like if he likes thick girls or whatever. But she was like, if he don't like it, then it is what it is. It tells me what he was here for, what the type of man he is. But baby, when those freaking doors open, honey, when they slid open, he liked what he saw. So I was like, all right, Tim, all right. Thick girls unite, damn it. Love it, love it, love it. And they do look good together. And so at one point, though, he kept saying the dog, bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay, the dog vibes. And at first, I thought at one point in earlier episodes, he said that he's a dog. He implied he's a dog. And I don't know if she was at first hating that because she doesn't like the fact that he calls himself a dog. But this is when I got freaking confused because when they were in Mexico, he started mentioning dog again, but this time it almost came off that he was talking about he actually has a dog because he was saying like my dog in my car, something like that. So y'all let me know because again, sometimes when it gets boring, I tend to kind of like end up ADHD kicks in and I'm doing other things while I'm watching it. Does he actually have a physical dog and she does not like dogs, or she doesn't like the fact that he keeps saying dog or nothing but the dog in me or whatever he keeps saying, and she doesn't like the saying? But here's the thing, she don't like shit. She's one of those, she's very controlling. She has very toxic Leo energy, know it all, get annoyed by stuff, pretty much wants to build a man the way that she wants to build him. Everything he said, she was annoyed by. When he put on a hat that he liked, she was rolling her eyes saying it was too big. She complained about everything, his fashion, all of that stuff. And I was just like, damn, girl. Like, give it a freaking break. Like, you are annoying me at this point. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And so when he's there talking about the dog situation, she's like rolling her eyes like, oh my gosh, like stop saying that. Stop saying that. Like, stop. Like, I can't deal with it. And she claims sometimes she just likes to pick on him. No, you don't, boo. No, you don't. You just are anal and you're annoying as hell and you're controlling as hell. So what's interesting though is that at the end of an episode, she opens up her hotel room and Tim walks in like they don't even know each other at this point. It was weird. And so I said, oh shit, what just happened? And next thing you know, he sits down and he starts talking about how I thought we were having a good time. And then we get back from the beach or whatever, or with the other cast members, and all of a sudden your mood completely changed. And when I was trying to talk to you and communicate with you, you were shutting me out, or whatever the case may be. And at that point, she was like, well, I mean, I wasn't in the mood to talk. And, I didn't want to talk and I didn't feel like doing it. And so next thing you know, I guess they get into an argument. The problem is when they get into this argument, she takes things to another level. She puts her hands over his mouth, covering his mouth, pretty much putting hands on him. Of course, not aggressively, but you don't put your hands, especially when you are having, you know what I'm saying, like an argument, you don't put your hands on anyone, especially to cover their mouth when they trying to talk to you. Then on top of that, he implies that she went so far to call him out his name. And there was a lot of name calling. And I said, she done called him a bitch, didn't she? She done called him a bitch. She done went there and probably called him a bitch, because the way that he looked in his eyes, he looked over it. He looked like, yeah, because when he even said, she said, so where do we go from here? He was like, I don't know. He was like, if I can be honest, when I was walking in here, I was okay with not seeing your ass again. And so she's like, come close to me, trying to direct him to get close to her. And he's like, yeah, I'd rather not. And I said, damn, girl. Damn, girl. Whatever happened that night, You have turned him completely off. So then she gets closer to him and then she's trying to hug him. She's like, I'm sorry. And he ain't hugging back. He's not really trying to touch her. He's not even looking at her. She's hugging him and he is looking like he is in another world, another zone, and does not want to be bothered. Okay. And I was just like, ooh, Alex. Ooh, Alex. Like, I knew that y'all wasn't going to be compatible with how you were acting. Like, you were annoyed by every single thing that he did. But whatever happened that night, and damn you cameras for not being there unless you're going to show us at the reunion. Whatever you said to him, he looks done. He really does. Now, clearly, they're going to continue on because we see in the previews he's going to meet the parents and things like that. But he looks completely done. And I'm just like, I want to know what the hell happened. I really do. I want to know what happened. But I feel like based on her energy, she called him out his name. And we ain't talking about, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, stop being a dork or something like that. I think she straight up did the bees all up in there. I think she did. I think she went there. And again, I'm a firm believer that every male is not a man, but I would never, if I'm serious about a man in a relationship, hell, even in any relationship, I can't remember me calling a man the B word in my relationships. The worst I've probably said is man up. But if I feel like I got to call you a B and I'm in a relationship with you, I don't need to be in a relationship with you. Like, I don't. But that's the same vice versa. If a man feel like he got to call me out my name and call me a B, we done. We're done. So yeah, you guys. So it's gonna be quite interesting. I do know, I think episodes 7, 8, or 9 are officially on Netflix now. I probably will not get to them until this weekend. But yeah, I feel like they need to give us more. We don't have any drama. We really don't. And maybe because compared to season 6, it just is not giving because we just had a lot of drama in season 6. But yeah, I'm gonna need for them to pick it up. And it does seem like based on the reviews, they may be picking it up and we'll definitely start seeing some drama. But yeah, I feel like it takes a lot to kind of watch the episodes because I'm just like, can we get to the point? Like, I need the drama. I need something. This is reality damn TV. Like, I know some couples are not going to give it because they actually are there for the right reasons. But to me, these shows always prove that love cannot just be blind for everyone. And hell, I don't think personally for anyone sometimes, but these shows, the reason why they're good and they always bring high ratings is because it kind of proves love isn't blind. It's going to be some drama. You guys don't really know each other. And then now you're in person, sleeping in the same room. Like, that is going to create some drama. So with that being said, we'll talk about it. A couple other videos will be coming up soon where we can talk about some other shows, as well as, of course, our Life After Lockup. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.